What is up, Booger Beans? Welcome back to another episode of Adventures with Boog. On this episode, we are going to get the handles onto our kitchen cabinets. They look freaking awesome. We're also hopefully going to get the driver's seat actually in the bus. So that's the plan for today. If you guys haven't already, we are doing a 500 subscriber giveaway. We just broke 500 subscribers about a week ago. All you have to do is be subscribed to our channel and then just comment down on this episode that you want free stuff. We'll be doing the draw on our October 1st episode. Yeah, that's basically all there is to it. We appreciate all our subscribers and we're working towards that 1,000 subscriber goal. We're very close to 1,000 on Facebook and Instagram. Also, if you guys haven't checked out Shop AWB, get some of this awesome merch. We do have a coupon code FREE5 at checkout for $5 off any products in our store, just to try and get out some brand awareness and try and grow the AWB family. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and let's get into some cabinet building. Okay. Alright, so these are the handles we bought, and they just need to basically go in the center of all the drawers. We had to get longer screws for them because of the thickness of the wood and the door. So we do have to adjust for that. But we basically need to measure the center to center of these holes, measure it to center on the cabinet, and then just drill the holes and put them in. Once we get all the handles mounted, then we're going to be putting a sealant over top of the cabinet. I wanted to have these mounted so that the wood that's in the holes of the handle gets a little bit of sealer on there, just so you don't get any water issues or anything like that in there. So yeah, that's what we're up to. Okay guys, so we got all the handles installed, and we only had one that we had a little bit of issues with not being quite straight. So just make sure you measure lots. I actually got like a fine point mechanical pencil and a compass out to make sure everything was like as straight and as square as I could get it, which is, it's just kind of difficult. You want to make sure they look really good. But now we're going to put on this Varathane one coat clear finish.
We'll probably put 2 coats.
Maybe I put 2 coats. But it says basically just to lightly mist it over top of the cabinet, and this will just fully seal it. The stain does help seal the wood, but if it gets any water or like, I don't know, pizza sauce or something on it.
Their cabinets will get beat up a little bit. So.
Yeah. So if it gets any of that stuff on it, it will stain and it'll look like crap. So by putting this clear coat on it,
wipe it down easier.
we can wipe it easier. It will help protect the finish and keep it looking better for longer. And it will make the cabinets look like finished, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas right now they kind of look like half finished.
Yeah, because this is glossy.
Yeah, so this will kind of shine them up a little bit, and yeah, should be good to go. Sid's going to do that. I'm going to go work on the plumbing in the bus a little bit. And yeah, let's get to it.
Then I can cook my spaghetti squash.
Okay, Beans. So what's going to be happening is this under part of the cabinet here is actually going to be our air plenum for the heater. So what we need to do is take some of this aluminum tape and this aluminum flashing, and right where the heater dumps into this area, we need to kind of build a channel and be able to make that air travel to the far end of the cabinet. So we're going to have an outlet right here on this portion of the wood, and I'm just going to basically take a 1/2 inch drill bit and just drill 5, 6, maybe 8 or 9 holes right there. And then at the other end of the cabinet, we're going to do the same thing, so that it allows airflow all underneath the cabinet, as well as it will heat this front area of the bus. It's probably not the best for airflow, really. Let's be honest, it's not a great design for airflow. But it will, I think, allow enough air and enough heat that it should work fine. And if it doesn't, well, that's what we got anyway. So we have to work with it and deal with it as we go. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to be putting in that flashing and figuring out how to get it all to work together here. Boogers here and Aspen are here in the bus. They haven't been in the bus for a while, actually. It's good to have them out. I know in an episode, when we're working on the outside of the bus, we just have them on their leashes, kind of tied up. So you don't really see them much. But when we're inside the bus, they can come hang out with us. So what I kind of did is I built like this duct to go underneath the cabinet here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out parts of this 2x4 that's running under the cabinet over here. Move all these cabinets, and we'll run another kind of piece of that ducting all the way to the other end of the cabinets. I know this is not going to be sealed. It's not going to be airtight. It's going to leak for sure. But the hope is that at least it gives the air a direction of path. So it's maybe not perfect, but at least it's giving the air somewhere to go, and it's directing it in that right direction. And yeah, I think it will work better than having nothing underneath the cabinet. It'll at least take some of that pressure and create more flow. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to move all these cabinets, cut out the piece of 2x4s that I need, and then we'll start building that piece of duct. What I'm using to build the duct is some of this aluminized tape, as well as aluminum flashing. So I'm just taking the flashing, bending it around the level, and then it basically fits perfectly to make a little rectangular duct. So that's what we're doing. Let's continue. Now you guys can kind of see what's going on. So I've got that first part coming from the corner out to here, and there's holes in the front of the bottom plate that allow the air out. And then I'm running another duct over to that end there, and then there'll be holes out that end to shoot air into that area out to the front of the bus and kind of make a circle over here with the booger. Now what I need to do is I need to go and build the other half of this duct and seal that into this portion here. But yeah, it's coming along really well. Never thought I'd have to build a duct like this, but I got it done and it seems to be working. So let's continue. Alright guys, so this is our stove that's going to be going in the school bus. It was taken out of an old bowler trailer, but the top of it was kind of all gross and cruddy and really dirty. So what we did is we took it, all the burners and everything out of here, stripped it down to bare metal where we could, rust converted it, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this flame-proof, high temperature ceramic coating. So this is good up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, so that would never get that hot on the stove, and if it does, our bus is burning down anyways. So we're going to take that, we're going to paint it, and then we are going to start working on our burnt wood countertops. So let's get this done so we can get onto the countertops. Okay, Beans. So here is what's going to be our countertop. So right now it's pretty rough, but what we're going to do is we're going to take the table saw, we're going to trim about a 1/4 inch off the inside of all the boards so that they come together flush. Then we're going to get pocket holes, and we're going to screw these boards all together to make them one solid board, as well as gluing in between all the boards. Then we're going to plane them all nice and smooth, actually using a router. We're going to sand them, we're going to clean them, we're going to make them look absolutely gorgeous. Then we're going to burn them with a tiger torch, so a big propane torch. And then we're going to seal them with linseed oil. And then that will basically be our countertop and go in the bus. So what we need to do now is we need to go measure how long we need it to be in the bus. These are 10-foot boards, and it's not quite 10 feet, it's just under 10 feet. So there's kind of some yucky parts at the end of those boards that will get cut off by shortening it under 10 feet. So that's what we need to do now. Then we'll get the table saw going, and then we'll keep moving forward. So let's get that done.
Now that I'm looking back, I can see all the signs I tried to fill in the cracks that were spread in my mind, but I was all out of, lost in an endless maze, the emptiness had afforded.
Okay, so we got all the boards cut to length. We just used the miter saw, set up a stop, put the stop against there, made sure they were all cut to length nice. Now what we're going to do is trim them to width. So when you get a milled board, it kind of has round edges from when they plane it, I assume, is what it comes from, or when they sand it, or I don't know, something like that. But we want the countertop to be nice and smooth as best we can. So what I'm going to do is we want a countertop that is 26.5 inches wide. A 2x10 is 9.5 inches. So we need to take down about 2 inches. So I'm going to mill a 1/2 inch out of the inside of the two boards and a 1/2 inch out of those inside of those two boards. Boom, put them together, and guess what? That got rid of our 2 inches, and it should work perfectly, hopefully. So we're gonna grab a table saw, set up a fence at a 1/2 inch, and run the boards through it. It's probably not gonna be the easiest thing to do. These are really, really big boards. So we might have to get a little bit creative on how we get it done, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Alright, Bean, so we got the boards trimmed. They fit pretty well. There's a little bit of a gap on this one, so it's got a little bit of a twist. But now what we're going to use is this little tool here. This is called a pocket hole jig. All we do is place it on the side of the material, use this drill bit to drill down through at an angle. Then we take this really long Robertson, and we're able to put a screw down inside that hole, and that will allow us to be able to tie all these together. So we're going to stand them up on end, or actually we're going to drill all the holes first, probably over this length, probably one every 6 inches, maybe one every 12 inches. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Probably about 10 to 15 screws per board, and then we'll glue them together, screw them all together, and then we'll start planing and smoothing and making this all nice and flat and ready for burning. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, Beans, so we got all the pocket holes drilled. You can see all these drill marks in the wood here, lots of these little drill marks. They kind of go in at an angle, so then we can put the screw in there, and then it will drill into the board right beside it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these boards, and I'm going to take some 50 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to rough up this edge. This edge is like skill saw cut, but some spots are really smooth. Like sometimes a skill saw almost like burns the wood and kind of glazes it, which is not what you want when you're gluing stuff up. So we're going to take the 50 grit on the DA orbital sander, and we'll sand that up and get it ready. Then what we're going to do is take a roller and carpenter's glue, and we'll basically roll it on there on both sides, put them together, screw them together, and that's about all we can do for like 24 hours. Then we just gotta let it sit for a while to fully cure. So yeah, let's get to sanding this and then screwing it together. All right, so we've got a tray with carpenter's glue in it and a roller. We're just gonna take that roller, dip it in the glue, try and get it on there, get it really saturated with the glue. Best we can. I have to put a bit more glue in here. Then we'll roll this guy on here, and we want to really squeeze it in there and make sure we get a nice coating of glue over the entire wood. So we're going to do that on this one and the other one there. Well, actually the other three, or the other two. Then we'll screw them all together. When we screw them together, we got to make sure we line up all the edges so they're nice and square, and then we'll let it sit overnight. So yeah, let's get to it.
Who's gonna be there to put up a fight? Who's gonna turn all the wrongs into right? We're waiting for a miracle.
So while we've got this table clamped up, we are going to build a sled. So we'll be building out of some of this angle, and all it really is a kind of carriage that allows the router to float over top of the table or the countertop, And then we put the router bit down enough to take off the high spots and leave the low spots, and we can make a nice flat planed surface. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be, I guess, about 30 inches long, 5.5 inches wide, and we'll just cut it quick, tack weld it all together, and go from there. So let's get to it. Okay, beans. So here is the sled I made. So what happens is the router sits in kind of this channel and can slide back and forth. These little feet on the side here stand it up so it can ride over top of the table. Then we set the router depth to basically the lowest point of all the ups and downs, and we run it back and forth hundreds of times, and then we'll come out with a flat board, hopefully. So this is gonna sit on my welding bench here, and we'll be able to move it back and forth and slide it over the table, and hopefully it works. So that's the next move. So we're gonna get the table up on here, give it a shot. It has not been 24 hours since the glue set, but it doesn't need that long. I thought it needed that long, but according to the bottle, it says 2 to 4 hours. So it's been 4 hours just about now, actually like 3.5, but just about 4 hours. So it should be pretty cured, I guess. If we get into it and we have issues, we'll fix them as they come. Okay, so you guys can see how it's set up. So we got the table or the countertop clamped. And we got the sled here, and we've got the router in the sled. So I set the router to just below the lowest point that I could measure. And then we'll basically route it back and forth all the way to here. Then we'll move the table forward, route it again, move the table forward, route it again, move the table forward, route it again, until the whole thing's done. Then we'll flip it over and do the same thing on the backside. And hopefully we get a pretty flat piece of material out of that. So let's get to it. Hey beans, welcome to our bathtub. So we just picked up our bathtub. I'm doing a little pause on the countertop because I keep hitting screws with the router bit, and I ended up making a big mistake and it doesn't look very good. So I'm not super stoked about that. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to solve that problem. So we went and we picked up our bathtub, and now we just need to install our drain. So this drain is super low profile. It's a screw-on drain. So what we have to do is cut a hole in the bottom of our bathtub, and we put this piece, the actual shower cap, through it. Then we screw it on through there, like this, and we tighten her up on the bottom, and then we put the 2-inch pipe on the outlet, and that attaches to the plumbing underneath the bus. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to do. I've never actually used one of these or done this, so I'm hoping it goes pretty well. All we have to do is measure it out, drill a hole in the bottom of the bus, or the bottom of the tub, and then seal it up with this guy. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, Beans, I think I'm gonna wrap up this episode here. I have no clue what I did in this episode. Honestly, we have so many projects on the go right now. We got cabinets going, we got the driver's seat going, we got the plumbing going, we got the countertops going, we got the stove going. We got all these things going, and what we kind of keep doing is we complete a project until we either run out of supplies, run out of tools, or run out of money. Once we get there, we start the next project that we have kind of stuff backed up for, and we just keep kind of cycling forward through all the projects. That being said, the bathtub is ready to go in. We got that sealed on. I just need some help to tighten it down, make sure it's entirely sealed, and then finish the plumbing underneath the bus. So that's probably gonna happen Friday or Sunday. We got a wedding on Saturday, so we won't be around then. So there's that. Obviously there's still the countertop, but like I said, I messed up a little bit, so I kind of got to fix that. I got to find a new router bit. I got to play around some more and get that figured out. So that's a little bit down the road. The stove is all painted, just simply ready to be put back together. but I have some of the burner parts and all that stuff I got to go scrub and clean and all that kind of crap. So that's going to take a little bit, but that'll be going together probably on the next episode. So if you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button, comment down below you want free stuff. We are giving away a hoodie and a t-shirt on our October 1st video. And all you have to do is basically be a subscriber to this channel. We'll be selecting from our subscribers. And yeah, hopefully you win some free stuff. As always, guys, thanks for watching and have a great night.
Okay, try to be brave. You have so much to say. Take control of